Hello, welcome to the Self Learning Podcast by Dr. Sushma Singh. Let us start discussion on Chapter 3 Understanding Social Institutions. And our topic is Variation in Family Forms. Our central debate in India has been about the shift from nuclear family to joint families. We have already seen how sociology questions common sense impressions. The fact is that nuclear families have always existed in India, particularly among deprived castes and classes. The sociologist A.M. Shah remarks that in the post-independent India, the joint family has steadily increased. The contributing factor is the increasing life expectancy in India. According to him, it has increased from 32.5 to 55.4 years for men and from 31.7 to 55.7 years for women during the period 1941 to 50 to 1981 to 85. Consequently, the proportion of aged people 60 years and above in the total population has increased. We have to ask, writes Shaw, in what kind of household do these elderly people live? I submit most of them live in joint households. This again is a broad generalization, but in the spirit of the sociological perspective, it cautions us against blindly believing a common sense impression that the joint family is the fast eroding, and alerts us to the need for the careful comparative and empirical studies. Studies have shown how diverse family forms are found in different societies. With regard to the rule of residence, some societies are matrilocal in their marriage and family customs, while others are patrilocal. In the first case, the newly married couple stays with the woman's parents, whereas in the second case, the couple lives with the men's parents. A patriarchal family structure exists where the men exercise authority and dominance, and matriarchy where the women play a major role in decision making in the family. While matrilineal family exists, the same cannot be claimed about the matriarchal society. The next topic is families are linked to other social affairs and families change. Often in our everyday life, we look at the family as distinct and separate from other spheres, such as economic and political. However, as you will see for yourself, the family, the household, its structure and norms are closely linked to the rest of the society. An increasing example is that of the unintended consequences of the German unification. During the post-unification period of in the 1990s, Germany witnessed a rapid decline in marriage because the new German state withdrew all the protection and welfare schemes which were provided to the families prior to the unification. With growing sense of economic insecurity, people responded by refusing to marry. This can also be understood as a case of unintended consequences. Family and kinship are thus subject to change and transformation due to macroeconomic processes, but the direction of change need not always be similar for all countries and regions. Moreover, change does not mean the complete erosion of previous norms and structure. Change and continuity coexist. Now let us discuss how gendered is the family. The belief is that the male child will support the parents in the old age and the female child will live on marriage, results in families investing more in a male child. Despite the biological fact that a female baby has better chances of survival than a male baby, the rate of infant mortality among female children is higher in comparison to male children in lower age group in India. Now the next topic is the institution of marriage. Historically, marriage has been found to exist in a wide variety of forms in different societies. It has also been found to perform differing functions. Indeed, the manner in which the marriage partners are arranged reveals an astonishing variety of modes and customs. The next topic is forms of marriage. Marriage has a large variety of forms. These forms can be identified on the basis of the number of partners and rules governing who can marry whom. In terms of the number of partners that can legitimately enter into matrimony, we have two forms of marriage, namely monogamy and polygamy. Monogamy restricts the individual to one spouse at a time. Under this system, at any given time, a man can have only one wife and a woman can have only one husband. Even where polygamy is permitted, in actual practice, monogamy is more widely prevalent. In many societies, individuals are permitted to marry again, often on the death of the first spouse or after divorce. But they cannot have more than one spouse at one and the same time. Such monogamous marriages are termed serial monogamy. Remarriages on the death of a wife have been a norm for men for the most part. But as all you have aware that the right for upper caste Hindu widows was denied and that the campaign for the widow remarriage was a major issue in the 19th century reform movement. What you are probably less aware is that today in modern India, nearly 10% of all women and 55% of women over 50 years are widows. Polygamy denotes marriage to more than one male at one time and takes the form of either polygyny, one husband with two or more wives, or polyandry, one wife with two or more husbands. Usually, where economic conditions are harsh, polyandry may be one response of society, since in such situations a single male cannot adequately support a wife and children. Also, extreme poverty conditions pressurize a group to limit its population. The next point is the matter of arranging marriages, rules, and prescriptions. In some societies, the decisions regarding mate selection are made by parents or relatives. In some other societies, individuals are relatively free to choose their own mates. Now, let us discuss the rules of andogamy and exogamy. In some societies, these restrictions are subtle, while in some others, individuals who can or cannot be married are more explicitly and specifically defined. Forms of marriage based on the rules governing eligibility or ineligibility of mates is classified as andogamy and exogamy. Andogamy requires an individual to marry within a culturally defined group of which he or she is already a member, as for example caste exogamy. The reverse of endogamy requires the individual to marry outside of his or her own group. Endogamy and exogamy are in reference to certain kinship units such as clan, caste, and racial, ethnic, or religious groupings. In India, village exogamy is practiced in certain parts of North India. Village exogamy ensured that the daughters were married into families from villages far away from home. This arrangement ensured smooth transition and adjustment of the bride into the affinal home without interference of her kinsmen. The geographical distance plus the unequal relationship in the patrilineal system ensured that the married daughters did not get to see their parents too often. Thus, the parting from natal home was a sad occasion and is the theme of folk songs, which depicts the pain of departure. Like father, we are like flocks of birds. We shall fly away, our flight will be long. We know not to which reason we will go. Father, my Patlukin cannot pass through your place. Now let us wind up the session and thank you very much for engaging yourself with the self-learning podcast.